So I have examples. So in men's clothes, the most essential item, it's just like a jacket in European suit, is 도포. It really sets the tone of your social status. Farmers, fishermen, or poor men could not wear 도포. Why? Because it is conspicuous consumption. Do you know the word conspicuous consumption? So in any material culture, you have a certain component of excessive materials, right? Consumption. So it's excessive. You don't need these big sleeves. I mean, your arms are just up to here, right? Why would you need this much? Or think about the clothes. You don't need that wide hem. You can, you can fit in just like this, right? So it is expensive. You need about 4 or 5 times of regular jogori amount of textiles, and you make this so that it's a completion of your clothes and social standing. So the example that you see in blue, this is Ming Dynasty, the Chinese dopo. It's the same Chinese character, but they pronounce Dao Pao. And then in Joseon Dynasty, late Joseon Dynasty, we have example here given by King Yeongjo to a Buddhist temple. And the basic structure is somewhat similar. The neck is a little bit different, but the A-line silhouette and then this big wing style sleeves, these are the same. So you needed actually 2 width of the textile. If you weave it, it comes in this width. You need 2 of them in order to make it extra long arms. So if you wear it, your hands only up to coming here. But why do you need this much? You fold them up, and then you are so you have a like wrinkled long sleeve. So I'm just coming out and then see what. Oh, Nancy.
Yeah, I have a question. So, is the garment called dapao in China and Korea, or is it a different name in Korea?
So it's the same name, especially Chinese character, but pronunciation is different. So in Korean art, you have to remember as dopo.
Okay, so it's spelled differently because the pronunciation is different.
Yes.
Right.
As different in English, right?
Okay,
yes.
So if we're talking about China, it's the dapao. If we're talking about Korea, it's the dopo. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Dopo, yeah, dopo. Yeah, I feel like I'm language teacher here. Anyhow, so that robe that you just see on the earlier slide, this one, it looks like this. So it's made of silk organza. Do you see how transparent the silk is, right? But as you know, the silk has this beautiful like a wave pattern, right? If you weave them. And then what I want to emphasize is this is a very thin fabric, so that when they make these seams, these are only one line, right? And this particular needlework is called 객기. It's like a strong word, like a almost like a K, but it's very strong, like a 객기. So a lot of summer garments with the diaphanous fabric like this, they don't want to show, like let's say half-inch like a seams on either side, right? You don't want that, right? So they trim off the seams, and it is really like a thin lines of it. Okay, here, as you can see, these are where different panels were stitched together. But overall, if you have a lot of seams together, then it will look like this, right? So these are also very controlled, so that there is no rough edges of it. This was given to Buddhist temple. So here on the back panel, there are the scripts by King Yeongjo saying that I am giving you this work to your temple, and this one has a exact date of 1738 or something. So that's why we know pre-1740. because the date he gave this clothes was 1738 or something. So this is important phenomenon in Korea, Japan, and China. So we have this work, original work, kept in the Buddhist temple, but clothes you cannot exhibit all the time. Then colors becomes tainted. If you're exposed to UV, or those lights, then it eventually color changes. So they usually keep it in a controlled environment so that people, like a modern makers, hanbok designers, they created an exact replica of it, and then they show these kind of garments in the public exhibitions or send these clothes for outside on another country. It travels better. Here, so you have inner thigh, and then you have outer thigh. So this is what we see visible. And the direction, remember Dr. Min-ji Kim emphasized the clothes direction very carefully. So it is toward your right side. And then this is what I mean by clothing at the center. So this is the green vest, like a long vest. This one is called 전복. Children wear this 전복 a lot. So you have underneath, you have 바지 and 저고리 for menswear. On top of it, you have 두루마기. 두루마기 is like 도포, but sleeves are not as elongated as 도포. Like it's a 두루마기, a little bit modernized one, but the 도포, the sleeves is going to be this long. So it's a little bit slim sleeve. And then on top of it, he had 전복. 전복 is a long vest coat. And then the waistband. It's not actually waist. It's more close to your chest, below your armpit. So young men wore this 전복 quite often. And then sometimes you have another overcoat called 중치막. And 중치막, like a front layer and then the back layer, you have side opened. It's more like an apron type. 도포, it has more layers, so that's why if you see this design, right, that they have this area, like the side panels are added on in order to close the clothes, but 중치마, they don't have this side element. So it's like a two fluffs. You have a front and you have a back. It's not connected. This one is also more active for you to walk around. And then again, the sleeve is not as this much of the 도포. So it's a lighter and simpler than 도포, and you can wear this to go outside. And this particular needlework is what? Quilted, right? A lot of winter garment, just like a padding coat, right? Like a Canada Goose, what North Face, like they have like this padded area. So because of the extra air between these padded parts, you feel warm. And they made a lot of this quilted needlework, and it's called 누빔. You don't have to know this, but it's called 누빔. If 객기 is the how do you call it? Sewing technique for summertime for thin diaphanous garment. 누빔, or sometimes no without M, 누비, is needlework for winter clothes to make it a little bit more strengthened and warmer. So these are reconstruction garments. These were found in the tomb or in museum collections, but this 아름지기 culture, it's a cultural foundation. They hired contemporary designers like you, younger people, and made the exact replica of it